Okay, good morning. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Calling the roll for the Tuesday, June 20th, 2023 Board of Control meeting. It is 11:01 a.m. We have Levine Ross serving as an alternate for Meredith Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Dale Miller.
Here.
James Boyle serving as an alternate for Purnell Jones Jr.
Here.
Melanie Say serving as an alternate for Mike Dever.
Here.
Catherine Gallagher serving as an alternate for Chris Renee, County Executive.
Here.
Michael Chambers, Fiscal Officer, serving as Chairman.
Here.
Paul Porter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from June 12th. I will make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved. Moving on to public comment.
No public comment.
Let's do our first item.
First item, BC 2023-388, Department of Workforce Development submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to United Labor Agency Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $466,796.42 to manage the operations of the one-stop center and provide basic career services in connection with the Workforce Investment Opportunity Act for the period July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Deshaun Matthews from How Means Jobs, and yes, we are requesting an exemption that will result in an award to ULA. Under this contract, ULA will be responsible for assisting clients in registering to receive job seeker, career, and employment services. They will also be responsible for the management of day-to-day operations at the OFJ Job Center, manage and coordinate partner responsibilities as defined in the MOU, manage hours of operation, opening and closing, coordinating daily work schedules, managing space configuration and workflow based upon operational needs. They also be responsible for procuring and staffing personnel to provide building security, daily cleaning, and other custodial needs. And lastly, they will manage regular and special event operations, including job fairs and hiring events.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the board?
Yes, how long has the United Labor Agency had this contract?
This contract, they had it the previous 4 years. That's as long as I've been there, but a minimum of 4 years.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Boyle?
In the backup information on here, it indicates that ULA was not the highest score. Is that right?
Correct. They were outbid by 1 point by Equus.
And so, what was the rationale for going with this provider rather than the highest scoring?
We went with them because, number one, they're the incumbent provider, and we decided to keep them because the scores were so close. And also, Equus, they are an out-of-town provider. I think they reside in Louisville, Kentucky, and it would take a longer time to ramp them up and for them to hire staff, and ULA was already ready to go day one. And they also, the pricing, ULA, in their budget, they presented $200,000 less than Equus, so it made it easier for us to negotiate down to the $466,000 that we ended up at.
So shouldn't the location of the providers or time to ramp up and all those things, shouldn't those have been included in the bid specs?
You have a good point there, but that is the reason why we chose to go with them. But yeah, that would be something we have to, when we go forward, use. But since the scores were so close, that's why we decided to go with them.
So I get that and I understand that, and I'm not
Yeah.
getting in the way of it, but one of
Gotcha.
the issues that we've had in the past is that we want to eliminate barriers to entities that have not participated in county contracts in the past. And when you see
Correct.
things like this, which are that a higher scoring one was not ultimately selected, it kind of runs contrary to that. So
I understand.
just something to be aware of as we move forward.
Thank you.
Are there additional questions? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-389, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in award recommendation to M&J Technologies Direct Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $28,005.84 for a state contract purchase of 12 each HP ZBook mobile workstations, docking stations, and carrying cases, 3 desktop computers, 15 each HP CarePack hardware support, absolute data, and device security premium subscription licenses and 5-year extended warranty for the Public Defender's Office, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. This purchase order is via state term schedule for the Public Defender's Office, and these are IT standard items.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there questions from the board? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Boyle. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-390, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Addy Systems LLC in the amount not to exceed $42,420 for TimeTap Web Scheduler, cloud-based subscription software for various use by departments for the period June 17, 2023 through June 16, 2024, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
Again, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. Addy's been around since 2020. The reason for the RFP exemption is to break the string of amendments when we come out with a new contract. It's of note that this is the same dollar amount since 2020. It has not increased.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there questions from the board? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Lorene Ross. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item, BC 2023-391, Department of Health and Human Services, Community Initiatives Division, Office of Homeless Services, submitting an amendment to a contract with the Young Women's Christian Association of Greater Cleveland, serving as fiscal agent on behalf of A Place for Me for provision of system coordination, planning, and implementation activities for ending and preventing youth homelessness for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $262,027.
Good morning, Erin Reardon, Office of Homeless Services. This is our amended contract with A Place for Me, YWCA as a fiscal agent for A Place for Me to provide coordinated services for ending youth homelessness. They're working with us in conjunction with our youth homeless development, youth homelessness demonstration program.
Thank you, Aaron. Are there questions from the board?
Yes. Does the $262,027 include both the cost of the fiscal agent operation and the cost of the services that are provided by Place for Me under this contract?
It does, yes.
It does. So, the way the contract is worded, and I've seen this before, it reads like all the money is being provided for fiscal agent services, like that it's all for administration, where in fact probably the vast majority of it is for direct services. And I would suggest in the future that a contract like this should be reworded to indicate that it's both for fiscal agent services and for direct services.
And actually, in going forward, A Place for Me has they're now their own 501c3, so we won't need to do that for next time. But yes, should that come up again, we'll be sure to address that.
There's other contracts that are the same thing.
I think we have, like the one that we have with the ID Collaborative has worked that way as well, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one where the management of the food bank stuff reads kind of the same way. So. Okay, thank you.
Very good. Any additional questions? Yes, please.
I have a question, Erin.
Yes.
Does the dollar amount have to be spent by December 31st of this year, or do you have a little extra time moving forward?
That one actually does have to be spent by the end of the year. HUD is very particular about making sure it's spent. And we do, with all of our HUD contracts, we make sure and follow up with them to make sure every quarter that they're spending on time.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Levine Ross. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next
Thank you.
item.
Next item, BC 2023-392, Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities submitting an amendment to an agreement with Achievement Centers for Children for lease of space located at 24211 Center Ridge Road, Westlake, for the period May 15, 2007 through April 30th, 2027, to extend the time period to September 30th, 2027, to change various terms effective June 13, 2023, and for additional revenue in the amount not to exceed $7,803.35.
Good morning, Sarah Kamak from the Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities. This is, last April, council approved a 5-year extension of our lease to Achievement Centers on our Westlake property. They came to us recently and realized that a lease ending in April would not work for their school year. And so this lease extension is really just to allow them to get through a full school year at the end of the lease term and to have time to vacate the property at the end of the lease.
Okay, Sarah, thank you. Questions from the board? Mr.
What are we
Boyle.
going to do thereafter? What's
Undetermined, we don't know. There's 5 years till then, so we will probably reevaluate when that gets closer.
Any additional questions? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved.
Thank you.
Next
Okay.
item is exemptions, BC 2023-393. Department of Public Works recommending an alternative procurement process which will result in a participation agreement with the City of Brecksville Purchasing Consortium and the amount not to exceed $49,500 for the purchase of sodium chloride rock salt for the period November 1st, 2023 through October 31st, 2024.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Pavich, Public Works. This is the annual request for the county to join the City of Brecksville Consortium for the purchase of road salt for the 23-24 season. Public Works in Cuyahoga County has been doing this for a number of years. We're in this consortium with a total of 11 other cities. This was competitively bid by the City of Brecksville last year. There's 3 bidders. Cargill was the low bidder. We're looking to amend that. It was a unanimous vote within the consortium to amend it 1 year. Cargill is keeping the same price per ton for salt, same delivery terms, minimums and maximums. And this is for the county to join the consortium. The actual purchase order for, I think, $49,500 will come forward closer to October.
Thank you, Tom. Are there questions from the board? Seeing none. Oh.
Why is Brecksville the lead on it? I mean, are they, I can't imagine they're the biggest one.
They are the second biggest, actually. Yeah, I think Beechwood is the largest, then Brecksville. They've been leading this, I think, for 20 years. So.
They've been doing it a long time, too.
Yeah, so.
It's the only time that I hope Sonny doesn't listen back to these things that I actually root for global warming. I mean, I know it fluctuates wildly.
Yeah, we've actually lowered our commitment. We used to commit to 400 tons. We committed to 300 tons, and last season we were 300 tons on the nose. So,
Where do they store it?
well, whenever we need, the county stores it underneath the
main avenue.
the main avenue bridge.
Oh, that's right.
So we only have so much capacity to store it. But with the consortium, we have guaranteed delivery within 24 to 72 hours. The only option is the ODOT contract, and they're a 7-day lead time. So if there's a snowstorm, with our minimums, we would not get delivery for up to 2 weeks. With the consortium, we have usually 24 hours. So
We're a very small user of salt.
yes,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I get that.
a lot of it's just the commodity working with the cities. So
Okay. Additional questions? Councilman?
Yes, suppose we had an unusual winter and we needed 450. Where would you get the extra?
we can continue to go through Cargill. The contract allows for minimums and maximums. I think we could actually go up to 450, even though we only commit to 300. And Cargill, we've been longstanding partners with us for a long time, so they would never turn away anyone in the consortium. We just may have to pay a higher rate because we went above the maximum.
And what if you had a weird winter in the opposite direction and you only needed 150? What would happen to the?
We would still have to pay the minimum, and I think the minimum is 80% of the 300.
Okay.
But they would store the salt for you then.
They would store it for us, that's correct.
We wouldn't lose anything.
Correct.
Okay, seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Moving on to consent agenda items, BC 2023-394 through BC 2023-395.
Hey, board members, there's not much there today. Any questions from the board? Seeing none, then, I will make the motion to approve today's consent agenda items as listed. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Moving on to other business.
No other business?
Any additional public comment?
No public comment?
I will make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Miss Melanie Say. All in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.